Captain Ibrahim Traoré made an announcement so bold that even his closest allies doubted it. Burkina Faso would plant 200 hectares of strawberries in the Sahel Desert. To most, it sounded absurd. The desert that scorches millet and maize, how could it cradle strawberries? Yet, within a single season, disbelief gave way to silence. Across the dunes, green rows now stretched where only sand once lay. Under plastic tunnels and drip irrigation, red berries blazed against the golden desert. Farmers, who had never even seen strawberries, now harvested them by the crate. By the end of 2025, 5,000 tons of strawberries were picked. Ouagadougou's markets overflowed. Boxes stamped Produit du Faso even crossed into Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. Families who once tasted only imported fruit now bit into sweetness grown in their own soil. The numbers stunned analysts. Yields matched Spain's Andalusia. Prices undercut imports by 30%. Nutritionists tracked rising vitamin C intake. Farmers earned 5 times more than millet growers. For a moment, strawberries became more than a fruit. They became a symbol of sovereignty. But shadows linger. How sustainable is this miracle, in a land where every drop of water is gold? Who truly controls the greenhouse technology? Are these strawberries the seeds of a Sahelian revolution, or just another mirage, sweet but fleeting in the sands of history? And yet, the vision expands. Solar-powered pumps pull water from deep aquifers. Straw and compost blanket the soil. Each tunnel forms a microclimate, shielding fragile fruit from desert winds. The first exports, 20% of the harvest, bring nearly $15 million into Burkina Faso. For the first time, strawberries are not a luxury snack for the elite, but a national export. This is Traoré's wager, that the desert can bloom, and that Africa's future in the global food chain may start not with wheat or corn, but with strawberries. Farmers now walk proudly through tunnels of strawberries, baskets brimming with fruit. I never thought my land could give me this, says Abdul near Kaya. Before, my children dreamed of leaving. Now, they dream of farming strawberries. For decades, strawberries were imported luxuries. Suddenly, they flood local markets affordable to ordinary families. A mother tells a journalist, "For the first time, I can give my children strawberries from our own soil." The impact is undeniable. Schools organize trips, scientists study the soil, and policymakers debate expansion. Even skeptics admit the harvest is extraordinary. Yet questions remain: can Burkina Faso sustain this fragile crop without draining aquifers? Can cold storage keep pace before the fruit spoils? Why strawberries? The answer lies in science, economics, and politics. Their nutrient-rich 1 hectare can cover the vitamin C needs of 50,000 people. The global market is booming, worth billions. And symbolically, they flip the script: Europe grows them for profit, Burkina grows them for dignity. Critics warn of risks. Supporters point to solar pumps, compost, and jobs, 20 per hectare. Women's cooperatives earn 5 times more than from millet. At its core, this gamble is bigger than fruit. Strawberries are not just sweetness, they are sovereignty. By late 2025, the strawberries are no longer a secret. Trucks roll into Ouagadougou's markets, crates stamped Produit du Faso. Crowds gather, stunned. For a nation once dependent on expensive imports, the sight is transformative. I never thought my children would taste strawberries without me traveling to Europe. Now they eat fruit from our own soil. For ordinary Burkinabe, strawberries shift from luxury to possibility. Farmers echo the pride. Boumar from Kaya explains. 1 hectare of strawberries gave me more income than 10 hectares of millet. My children eat better, and I can pay school fees. His story spreads across radio broadcasts, inspiring others to believe the desert can bloom. Health reports confirm the change. Vitamin C intake in pilot zones rose 40% in just 6 months. Clinics note fewer deficiencies and stronger child immunity. What was once a luxury snack is now a tool of public health. The ripple spreads across Africa. Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire import fresher Burkinabe berries than Europe can supply. Nigerian investors send delegations. A Malian newspaper declares, if Burkina Faso can grow strawberries, what else is possible? But admiration mixes with unease. Ghanaian farmers fear competition. Analysts in Lagos doubt the fruit can survive the journey without spoiling. Rivals whisper of hidden subsidies. Globally, the reaction fractures. The UN hails it as climate-smart innovation. African media calls it red fruit, red future. But in Europe, skepticism dominates. Spanish growers warn of market disruptions. French traders dismiss Sahel strawberries as inferior. A European agribusiness lobby publishes papers calling them too fragile, too watery, too unstable for export. American analysts echo, unsustainable. But in markets, reality tells another story. Burkinabe strawberries outsell European imports in Ghana. In Abidjan, shoppers queue for the novelty of tasting African fruit, fresh, cheap, and sweet. For the first time, Burkina Faso's name enters trade data, not as an aid recipient, but as a supplier. Ordinary voices cut through the noise. 14-year-old Fatamata, tasting a strawberry for the first time, says simply, "They are sweet. They taste like hope." Politically, Traore seizes the moment. Before Parliament, he declares, "Strawberries are not European. They are not American. They are Burkinabe." Proof that sovereignty grows from the ground. Opposition protests sound hollow against baskets of fruit feeding families. Yet foresight warns, novelty is not permanence. Strawberries remain fragile, dependent on cold storage, trucks, and careful handling. Already whispers spread, foreign corporations are circling. By early 2026, the storm breaks. Investigative journalists in Ouagadougou leaked documents from a European trade consortium in Brussels. The proposal? A 15-year exclusive export contract at prices locked below global averages. In return, warehouses, refrigerated trucks, a processing plant. On paper, modernization. But hidden in the fine print, exports take priority over local consumption, even during shortages. The outrage is immediate. Farmers march through Kaya with baskets of strawberries, chanting, "Our fruit, our future." Women's cooperatives warn, "They took our gold. They took our cotton. Now they want our strawberries." For ordinary Burkinabe, fear grows. Will strawberries feed their families or vanish in refrigerated trucks bound for Europe? Facing crisis, Captain Ibrahim Traoré addresses the nation. Standing before glowing strawberry fields, he declares, "Our strawberries are not for sale. They belong first to Burkinabe families, then to Africa, and only afterward to the world. We will not trade sovereignty for infrastructure. Food first, 60% of production must serve domestic and African markets before export. Sustainability audits, every hectare requires soil and water impact checks to protect aquifers. By the second harvest, 5,600 tons produced, $18 million earned, and no exclusive deal with Brussels. In strawberry zones, child malnutrition drops 35%. Water audits confirm drip irrigation keeps consumption efficient. The strawberries still glisten red under the Sahel sun, not just as fruit, but as proof that sovereignty can grow from the ground. Faso strawberries use 70% less water than maize. Within 2 years, soil organic matter rose 50%, turning desert sand into living earth. "We are not just growing strawberries," one agronomist said. "We are growing soil." But pressure mounts. A European white paper insists Faso strawberries cannot compete without EU logistics. Fertilizer lobbies predict compost farming will collapse within 5 years. American analysts warn this could disrupt California's dominance. Burkinabe scientists counter with proof. A joint study with Moroccan engineers finds 20% higher antioxidants in Sahel berries, branded as Faso strawberries, stronger by the desert. They're positioned not as cheap exports, but as premium health products. Traore seizes the narrative. At the African Union, he declares, "Europe grows strawberries for markets. We grow strawberries for sovereignty. That is our revolution." The hall erupts. On the ground, the change is tangible. A women's cooperative in Ouagadougou builds a new clinic with strawberry profits. One member says, "For the first time, our labor feeds our families before it feeds Europe." They are no longer just crops. They are shared assets, a participatory experiment in sovereignty. Meet Awa, a 32-year-old farmer from Ouagadougou. Before strawberries, she cut trees for charcoal, destroying land just to survive. Exhausted, she feared her children would inherit the same struggle. She joined a cooperative managing 2 hectares of strawberries. Within a year, her income quintupled. She built a brick house, installed solar panels, and sent her brother to university. "I used to destroy the land to live," she says. "Now I heal the land, and it heals me back." Her story echoes thousands more. Every hectare creates jobs, not just in farming, but in packaging, cooling, trucking, and markets. Women sell jam and juice. Engineers maintain solar hubs. Truck drivers ferry berries across the Sahel. By late, the revolution reaches 600 hectares and 17,000 tons of fruit. Poverty in strawberry zones falls by 40%. Nutrition improves, children once vitamin deficient eat berries daily. Villages once dependent on aid now talk of exports, not handouts. Strawberries reshape identity. No longer just drought and hunger, Burkina Faso is seen as a producer of sweetness, health, and dignity. The strawberry becomes a flag of sovereignty. Regionally, a red belt emerges. Mali and Niger adopt the model. Trucks cross borders carrying fruit and solidarity, African strawberries feeding African families first. Nationally, strawberries feed families, create jobs, and fund schools. Farmers, especially women, now hold power once reserved for middlemen. Yet logistics strain, corruption whispers, and the desert still demands vigilance. Globally, Faso berries disrupt hierarchies. They appear in Paris supermarkets and New York street stalls, proudly branded "stronger by the desert." But in Brussels and Los Angeles, corporate lobbies sharpen their knives: tariffs, disinformation, exclusivity deals. Strawberries become a red mirage, a freedom that slipped back into dependency. The strawberries of Burkina Faso teach one lesson: deserts are not dead. They are waiting for courage, waiting for vision, waiting for those bold enough to try the impossible.